Get ready. The best theme parks in the world generally share all of the same characteristics: immersive theming, excellent attractions, and a wide array of supplementary elements like dining, accommodation, and seasonal events. In order to provide these components, two key ingredients are needed: intellectual property, or IP, and money, lots and lots of money. While we love a good original themed attraction or land, it's undeniable that IP-based attractions are the way the theme park industry is moving. This is why Disney and Universal are the two companies that have come closest to achieving theme park perfection, while no other theme park in North America really comes close. Their large portfolios of IP and endless cash supplies allow them to create innovative and breakthrough theme park attractions time and time again. Right now, it's hard to think of many companies that could break into this elite space. However, one obvious possibility for us would be Netflix. With an ever-growing IP portfolio and bank account, they would be the company most likely to be able to build a world-class theme park in the near future. In this video, we're going to explore what a Netflix theme park could look like. But before we do, here's just a quick reminder to hit the like button if you're in hell. So, rather than have a bunch of lands based around specific shows, our approach here is to have lands based around genres, much like how Netflix categorizes their own platform. This would allow for some level of fluidity and future-proofing to the park, and allow popular shows and movies to come and go if needed, while allowing Netflix to add new attractions to the park over time. We're going to give you a brief overview of different genres and how they could look. We've purposely left out shows based on real-life characters like Narcos and The Crown, as there are probably licensing issues around these. Some other shows on Netflix were also produced by other companies, so we've excluded them too. For example, The Umbrella Academy was produced by Universal, so it's unlikely that they would license it out to a Netflix theme park. Of course, when you scan your ticket at the gate, the machine goes Horrorland. Horror has never really been tackled in a theme park on a grand scale. Many years ago, a Stephen King themed ride was planned for Universal Studios Florida, but was never built. The closest we get to horror in theme parks is probably Revenge of the Mummy, or Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. But it's an ever popular genre and deserves some love in the theme park world. While it may not be super child friendly, we think it's maybe not the worst idea for a ride to have an age restriction, much like movies do. Some of the best Netflix horror has been produced by Mike Flanagan, with Netflix now referring to his movies and TV shows as the Flaniverse. Not sure about that one. This includes The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, The Midnight Club, and more. For us, we think The Haunting of Hill House could make an amazing dark ride. Can you imagine something similar to The Haunted Mansion, but with the likes of the Bent Neck Lady, Bowler Hat Man, and all of the various ghosts hidden around the house? The potential for this is huge. Similarly, this area could feature a high-thrill roller coaster, perhaps themed to Midnight Mass. Given that the main antagonist is an angel with massive wings and the ability to fly, a wing coaster could be a really good fit. It makes sense for a horror-themed land to include at least one adrenaline-pumping coaster. Sci-Fi Land. Netflix's most popular show by far is Stranger Things. It's hard to mention one without the other, and so you'd imagine this TV show would be worthy of its own land that probably falls somewhere between horror and sci-fi. There are so many directions you could go with this one show. An idea that we think could work best is a hybrid dark ride coaster that allows you to enter various scenes while also being thrilling, similar to Harry Potter and Escape from Gringotts. This could take you all over Hawkins and into the Upside Down and face to face with Vecna and some Demogorgons. This area could even feature a Scoops Ahoy ice cream shop, a Surfer Boy pizza restaurant, and Palace Arcade. We've seen Coca-Cola alter their products to be included in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disney parks. So you'd imagine companies could alter their products to look like they're from the 80s to be included here.
How's your finger looking good?
For us, Stranger Things has a similar theme park potential to Star Wars and Harry Potter, in that you can really build a whole world around it, and both Disney and Universal have done that so well in recent years. Staying with sci-fi and moving away from Stranger Things, we think Black Mirror could make for a really great basis for an attraction too. We've seen Thor Park in the UK open a Black Mirror walkthrough attraction, but for us it really doesn't match the potential of the IP. But perhaps something more interactive that involves guests having to try and save themselves from some impending technological doom could work, maybe similar in style to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run or Mission Space. The difficulty with anthology series is that you probably can't base an attraction on one episode. But perhaps the attraction could have multiple renditions similar to Star Tours in Disney parks, meaning you would get a different experience each time you go on it, an anthology attraction if you will. Action Thriller Land. Another Netflix original series that is very toyetic is Squid Game. With a super popular first season and plans for future seasons, we think it's perfect IP for a theme park attraction. Much like Black Mirror, it makes sense for an attraction to be interactive, where guests must try to win or escape or not die. Perhaps a dark shooter ride could work really well here, say 500 points for the circle, 1000 points for the square, and 2000 points for the triangle. And like a horror themed land, you probably can't have a thriller themed land without a high intensity roller coaster to get the heart racing. So sticking with Squid Game, we think a multi-launch coaster called Red Light Green Light would work really well. We've seen Universal add Velocicoaster and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure recently, both multi-launch coasters and both very popular. The range of challenges featured in the TV show, both in current and future episodes, could also provide ideas for future attractions in this area. Money Heist is one of Netflix's most popular shows. An idea we have for this one is a drop tower style ride, similar to Disney's Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Guests could enter a bank at the ground floor where they queue. Rather than the drop tower going up in the air, it could drop you down into the money vaults below. Depending on how much of a story you'd want to tell on this one, you could feature scenes of the thieves melting gold and breaking into vaults. Drop towers are usually very thrilling, which makes it an apt attraction for this land. Dramaland. While it might not make for the most exciting theme park attraction, it's hard to deny the popularity of Bridgerton. The first 2 seasons are some of Netflix's most popular programming, and seasons 3 and 4 are in development. We think the best way this would work in a theme park would be in the form of a show, where a 30-minute story could unfold on stage, including dances, parties, or whatever else the cast get up to.
I assure you, nothing untoward has occurred.
There could also be a banquet hall similar to Be Our Guest restaurant in Magic Kingdom that is themed to Beauty and the Beast, where guests could dine in the world of Bridgerton. There could also be an opportunity to build a Riverdale themed area here. This could help market the Netflix theme park to a younger audience, and could feature a dark ride based on the conflict between the gangs in Riverdale High and their various rivals. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Riverdale, but it feels like it could be a really good theme park attraction. One of the key places in the show is Pop's Chocolate Shop, which would no doubt be a great addition to this land for a place to get a milkshake. Riverdale is based on the Archie comics though, so there could be an IP issue with that. Sportsland. It's quite strange that Netflix haven't dipped into the world of live sport, but they absolutely know how to tap into the drama of sport with shows like Sunderland Till I Die, The Last Dance and Formula 1 Drive to Survive. The latter has seen an explosion in popularity with Formula 1, particularly in America. Portaventura in Spain opened a new park in 2017 called Ferrariland. This features a flying theatre ride following Ferrari cars around scenic spots, and a launching top hat coaster which happens to be the tallest and fastest roller coaster in Europe. We think a Formula 1 attraction could be really popular here, but could do something different to what Portaventura have done. Drive to Survive is known to dive into the technical aspects of racing. Perhaps similar to Test Track in Epcot, guests can board a racing car and go through a series of tests to ensure the car is raceworthy. After this, it can burst out onto the track and hit high speeds, offering the thrills of a Formula 1 race itself. There could be an issue here with licensing too though.
Netflix are a real bunch of aren't they?
Kids Land. No theme park is complete without a land for younger visitors. Netflix seem to collaborate with DreamWorks for many of their kids shows though. Given that Universal are currently building a land for How to Train Your Dragon in their upcoming theme park Epic Universe, let's assume DreamWorks IP is off the table for a Netflix theme park. By leaving these out, it's probably for kids in the same way that there are for almost all other genres. When looking further into some of its most popular shows like Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig and PJ Masks, it becomes apparent that this is all licensed content, and they would be unlikely to get the theme park rights to these IPs. 2 TV shows we were able to find for this land are Mighty Little Beam, an Indian kids animated show following the adventures of a little toddler. With growing popularity globally, this is something Netflix could feasibly build. A child-friendly dark ride taking you on adventure with Beam would be great, similar in style to perhaps the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh in Disney parks. Another Netflix show with growing popularity is Ask the Storybots, which follows a group of robots who help answer kids' biggest questions. They often sing and dance. This could work really well as an interactive stage show. A series of small flat rides often works well in theme park lands for kids, so each robot could also get their own kids ride maybe. Overall though, we're going to look at Kids Land as something of a blank canvas. Should Netflix produce their own hit kids show in the future, and we're sure they eventually will, this land would be prime real estate for a land based on it that could attract families and younger audiences to the park. The Netflix ride. Lastly, we want to throw a final idea in the mix that could perhaps serve as a central attraction that ties the park together. Based in no genre land, this attraction could be based on Netflix as a whole, highlighting a variety of shows that maybe don't warrant their own attractions but are still popular in their own right. We envision this as a flying theatre ride similar to Soarin' that can take you to various worlds in the Netflix universe. It could, for example, take you to the Upside Down, to the landscapes of The Witcher, the Ozark Mountains, or through the Zeppelins above Madrid in Money Heist. Given that this would be a screen-based attraction, it would also allow the park to interchange the show regularly and include new shows or teasers for new seasons, or really anything they'd like to promote. If Squid Game fans wanted a sneak peek of what's in store for the next season, they could come and see it as part of the Netflix ride. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out 7 theme parks that starred in movies. A link to that video will be on screen now. That concludes our tour of the hypothetical Netflix theme park. Now you're ready. What other original shows and movies would you include here? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.